I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
...2019 Mercedes-Benz
A220 sedan.
What do you want to do?
I want to review you.
This is the car that talks to you like Siri, like Amazon Alexa, and Google
Home. Google Assistant.
But by Mercedes, and I think this is the first car that does this.
Yes, it is.
As you can see, the main gimmick of this car is the augmented reality
Now turn right.
navigation, which works really well, along with this being a talk-to-it car. Us Canadians get the sedan and the hatchback,
But the Americans only get this sedan.
which is all right because it is pretty cool, but it's not a hatch, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, the hatch is definitely good because we've driven it in Croatia.
So watch that video. We're gonna get more into the techie stuff and more into the daily driving and all the cool stuff you gotta get used to or you'll enjoy while driving this. So what you do is you put in your information like a normal navigation, but it'll show you street names, street numbers, and little blue arrows where to turn. When you get close to your turn at low
Now
speeds,
turn left.
Just
see
like
what it
this.
does? See what it does there? It shows arrow in front. It augments it into reality, and it makes it easy to find out where you need to turn. We found it especially easy on roundabouts in Europe.
It's very good for a built-in navigation system, but you do have to pay for the navigation system separately. It's a separate option from these screens, which is quite annoying.
So to get everything, you need to have pretty much a fully loaded A-Class.
Yeah.
Let's get into the rest of the car.
Okay, horsepower and torque.
Hit me with it.
188 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque.
Which is a bunch less than the 250 we drove in Europe.
Yeah, which is the same 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. So I don't know if it's the exact same engine. I kind of have a feeling it is, that it's just like detuned, but it does feel noticeably slower than the A250, which is only available in the hatch in Canada.
Can I talk about where the hatch and the sedan are made?
I would love to.
The sedan is going to be made in Mexico and the hatch is going to be made in Germany.
That's right. There's a lot going on with all these screens. I'm going to let Yuri, Mr. Infotainment, take the reins on that. So I'm going to talk about driving this first, and I'm not going to go off on it because this car is not about driving. But what it is about is being driven in it by the car, because it's the coolest thing ever, using the adaptive cruise and the lane keep assist. It is unreal.
It is traffic jam cheater mode.
It's the best.
Even not traffic jam, just
Exactly.
going for like a boring drive, sticking to the speed limit, it's perfect.
It's perfect for that. This is the best implementation of it that I've ever seen. It's better than the S-Class.
Yeah, and then it's going to go to all the other models as well.
That's right.
They're putting everything Mercedes has into their lowest end model to start. How cool is that?
It's really cool. Okay, so you use these steering wheel buttons to enable your adaptive cruise. If you don't have adaptive cruise enabled, your lane keep assist is just like the stop thing. It's like very passive, but kind of passive aggressive actually.
Yeah, so when you get out of the lane, it'll buzz at you and then hit the brakes if you're going out of the lane too much. So like get out of this lane on the right here a little bit.
Okay, here we go, and there we go.
See? It hit the brakes, it gave a warning, and pulled them back to the right with the wheel.
Yeah, so it doesn't actually keep you in your lane, but if you veer out of your lane, it will bring you back in like almost emergency style.
Yeah, it's really, really good for safety.
Now, if you enable your cruise by turning it on and hitting the set button to set your speed, then everything is on and you practically do not have to touch this.
Hover, we got this.
Pure hover hands, like I don't have to do anything.
I have found that 45 miles per hour is the sweet spot for cruising through the Seattle area roads.
We should mention that Mercedes invited us out to Seattle to drive this, so everything's in miles per hour.
And that's why we don't have a hatchback version yet, because we're in America.
So far, I have not touched the wheel, and it's been at least a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect.
And eventually it'll start barking at you again.
Yep.
And you know what you do then?
You just give it a little slapperoo.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's yelling at me, so I'm gonna give it a little slap. Back in business.
Yeah, you can see the light turns green again.
Yeah, so we're good to go.
I prefer to give it the whole, give it a with the knee thing.
A little sketchier, but they both work.
Yeah, and with the radar cruise, stop and go, like it's so easy.
Okay, a little bit more driving. I'm actually gonna drive this time. So, handling wise, pretty good. Nothing remarkable, no complaints.
It is pretty fun to drive though. It's like,
It's decently fun. It's not fast
it's
or
not
anything
fast,
like
fast,
that.
but it's zippy.
It's quick off the line, which is all you need.
Zippy.
Yeah, I would like more power, but I don't need more power.
We have the 250 hatch.
Exactly.
And
we do.
There's an AMG coming.
A35, A45 maybe, so if you buy that in Europe, then maybe we'll get it.
Yeah, what's funny about that was at the presentation, people kept pestering the guy about the AMGs, like, I can't speak about it right now. End of presentation, like, I have one more surprise from you. Boom, AMG video.
Yeah, in yellow.
So here's what it looks like.
Looks awesome.
I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited. I hope it actually does come. They haven't confirmed or denied, but like...
He confirmed that it would not be a 2019 model.
That's right. We have a 7-speed dual clutch. Not my favorite. Doesn't shift the fastest, but in regular use, you're not gonna have any issues. It's just not very sporty.
It shifts appropriately for an entry-level little hatchback,
That's
little
right.
sedan.
And we have 4 different drive modes. We have Eco, Individual, Sport, and Comfort. I would honestly just leave this thing in Comfort.
Yeah, comfort's good, but the steering does get a lot heavier in Sport, but I think we talked a lot about that in the other video we did.
That's right, so we're not gonna go off on that in this. And honestly, that's pretty much it for driving. So I'm gonna let you drive now.
No. This infotainment is a lot of work.
Okay, yeah, good point.
I want to start in the passenger seat because it is very overwhelming to just hop right in.
That's a very good point.
We got in the car, we had been in this car before, but when you get back in, it's very overwhelming.
And we're younger 32-year-olds, so like we know what we're doing. We've been in a lot of cars, so it's still a little bit overwhelming when you first get in.
You probably need to spend 4 or 5 days with it before you really get it. And if you have an older Mercedes or use an older Mercedes, it'll probably take you maybe 1 day.
I fully agree.
How do we control these two 10.25-inch screens?
We should also mention that this is the top trim, so we do have the two 10.25-inch displays instead of the two 7-inch displays, which look comically hilarious. Anyways, moving on from that, because we don't actually have one of those.
The screen on the right is a touch screen, and on the bottom we do have a trackpad, which I absolutely hate. I love the scroll wheel from the S-Class and the E63S.
And then we have 2 touch buttons on our steering wheel, which are kind of like scroll wheels, but they're like BlackBerry Pearl type sensor things.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the left one controls the gauges, because the gauges, even though it's the same screen, is not touch. I did try to touch it before, reaching through the steering wheel, but that's insanity.
Yeah.
Why was I doing this? Whatever. And the right trackpad controls this as well as the trackpad.
And the screens look stunning. The resolution is perfect. I absolutely love these screens.
You will get some glare every now and then.
You definitely will. Depends on the time of day. We did notice that.
And there's no overhang, which makes it look kind of cooler, but also like, just give me that overhang.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overhang would have been all right.
We have a couple different displays. We have classic, we have sport, and then we have understated. When you're in understated, this screen turns black, so all your navigation, all your radio stuff is gone. So I guess it's like a cool, simple, distraction-free thing, but the thing that sucks is I like understated for my regular gauges, and I want to have my normal stuff on the right screen, but I can't do that. So for example, if I click home, look what happens.
Everything goes back into your previous gauges.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just let it stay there.
Yeah, just control the right screen, leave the left screen alone.
Okay, and then we've got sport, which turns things yellow. Can you do that for me real quick?
I would love to. It won't be real quick though. And sport mode.
Turns it yellow, and it loads pretty quickly. I know Jacob hates how long it takes, but I think that's fair.
I think it was slightly laggier in the one that we drove in Croatia. I think they've actually ramped things up a little
And compared to Audi's, how you need to like be at a stop and let the system reboot for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So in their gauges, now you have a left bubble, a right bubble, and a middle bubble that you can control with your trackpad. Pretty much everything that you click from that home button controls what's in the middle. So let's start with navigation in the middle, because there's a lot of cool stuff there.
Okay.
So we've got our map right here on the right, and you can have the same map there.
Now we got super map mode.
Okay, but this map is a normal map. So if I zoom out on the right, we have a satellite view map over it.
Yeah, I'd also like to give a shout out to the Seattle area for being absolutely stunningly beautiful out here.
Yeah, it's nice that you guys have a mountain. Don't forget to subscribe!
And hit the notification bell! Yeah, Mount Rainier.
So back to this and Mount Rainier.
Okay.
So now zoom out of that map, and you can click to make it 3D, 2D, or auto zoom. A little more, all the way. I want a satellite view. So now we have 2 map satellite views, which is pretty cool. And the best part was Mount Rainier showed up like a huge mountain while driving past Mount Rainier.
That was the coolest thing ever.
And what's also cool is, as stupid as you want to make it, you can save that. You go to home, down to themes, and create theme. It's pretty cool.
It's ultra customizable.
We can control our Sirius XM radio stations through the middle thing by going up and down with the left trackpad.
Yes, we can.
That's the only way to go through radio stations.
Or we can also say a key word and the car will actually do it for us.
Okay, give them a teaser of how that works.
Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
change the radio station to XM radio channel 44. Or what you can also do, if you know the name of the station, it'll also work for that.
And if it's hard to get to your presets because you don't like the trackpad, you can say, hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
Show me my presets. And we have our presets up on the screen.
And if you have your presets up on the screen and you didn't even want to do that, you can also save it as a favorite. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
save this current station into my favorites.
The radio station has been saved.
It works really well.
Technology. So back to the gauges, we do have some other really crazy modes. Like, you know that big display mode for the map?
Yes.
We get that crazy stuff for fuel economy and other things too. What if we go down to display? What did we just do?
I don't even know what I'm looking at. Tell me.
You've got like a left, I don't even really know. We got like a left bubble showing our distance, a bunch of stuff. I think it's more to impress people.
Yes.
And there's other modes like that too. If we go back to home, scroll down to our preset themes.
I did accidentally find a cool power mode that I liked.
And look, we've got like cool engine torque performance. That's also very difficult to read.
Yeah, but at least I have my engine torque, my horsepower, and my boost gauge.
There's a lot going on. So let's pull over, look at some of the stuff you wanted to look at,
I want to look at the outside of this car.
because this is the new design language.
Yes. So we'll look at the outside, and then you're going to drive, and then you're going to talk about way more stuff in here.
Yeah, I hope you guys like this stuff, because this is what this car is. If you're not interested in all this techie stuff in the car, you probably won't be interested in this car.
That's true.
And if you're a senior citizen
Oh,
who wants
man.
to buy the fully loaded car, call me up.
Yeah.
I want to spend the first 3 days with you.
Yeah. Like, that would be very overwhelming. All right. My favorite part, these optional 19-inch wheels. I absolutely love these wheels. You can only get 17 or 18 otherwise. These are special order.
This is the new Mercedes design language. We don't have as hard of a line on the top and the bottom. It's a lot harder on the bottom only.
This is the AMG package, so it looks a little bit different. We got these nice Wolverine claws, as Yuri likes to call them. Hey Yuri, you're a bit of a connoisseur for headlights. What do you think of these ones?
I think they're pretty cool. They're the slim LED design. They're gonna be on a lot of Mercedes. I kind of miss the originality of a different one across the board. We've got side skirts for the AMG package, and then we got some alright taillights back here. And if you look really close, we've got a lot of cool patterns in there. I think it looks a lot better close up than it does far away.
One of my favorite parts and one of my least favorite parts. Favorite part, this big diffuser looks amazing. Least favorite part, these are fake. They're actually fake. They went to the point of getting as much as your hand in there and they just didn't finish the hole. Like, and here's the engine. That's about it. I think we need to talk about infotainments now. You drive.
So Hey Mercedes is actually pretty useful for certain
How can I
things.
help you?
For certain things.
Yes, it is.
You can do some stuff like closing your sunroof, but you can't do safety related things. Like you can't close the glass because that might like crush someone's hand. You can't tell it to hit the brakes for you or turn on like certain signals.
Yeah, or go faster, set your cruise, like anything safety related you can't do.
I feel like it's almost a party trick, kind of like how BMW's got this thing. They have this, which is fine.
This is more impressive.
This is definitely more impressive.
Way
We get a lot
more
more out of
impressive.
it. So since we have some LTE, let's ask it some more questions, the hard-hitting questions.
Okay.
Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
what is Skynet?
Skynet is a fictional neural net-based conscious group mind and artificial general intelligence system that features centrally in the Terminator franchise and serves as the franchise's main and true antagonist.
Whoa, whoa. I asked for Skynet, not a biography.
Yeah.
Get it?
Get it?
This
Yeah,
car's
that's a good
Skynet.
one. Let me ask, hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
are you Skynet?
Self-awareness is hard. Even humans struggle with it.
Oh, it is Skynet.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
It can also answer some really weird questions. Maybe some questions that have been planned out in advance, I don't know, but they're somewhat interesting. Hit him with that one.
Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
what is the age of the Prime Minister of the country of birth of Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber was born in Canada. The Prime Minister of Canada is Justin Trudeau. The age of Justin Trudeau is 46 years and 9 months.
Now replace that with Celine Dion.
Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
what is the age of the Prime Minister of the country of birth of Celine Dion?
What would you like to do?
Exactly. So you know what? Thank you, Mercedes, for putting in some Easter eggs for us Canadians. Guess who's got some more gauge stuff to talk about?
Obviously you.
We do have another display setting for the assistance, which is our cruise control that we love so much. Check out the way this one looks.
That's pretty cool. I
Isn't
also
it?
don't know what it's really telling me. I kind of do, because it's telling me that that motorcycle in front of us is about 100 feet away.
But also kind of useless.
Yes, put it back to normal.
You know what I'd really like?
What?
Just a big old number with my speed on it.
I figured you would. My favorite thing about this whole interior, which is still attached to the screen because basically everything is attached to the screen.
Wait, let me guess. Hey, Mercedes,
How can I help you?
change ambient light.
Yes, so ambient lighting is my favorite thing. So I go through the color and I like to pick my red moon because you can go multicolor just like in the S-Class.
And I feel like we saw the lights way more in this car than we do in most other cars in the daytime.
Oh, for sure. These are so bright, even compared to the S-Class.
And we have 64 colors.
Yes, and the vents light up, and the vents are the coolest things ever too.
They're covered in piano black. Let's talk about some interior stuff to break it up a bit.
All right,
Piano black, do you hate it?
I hate it.
It's a nice little shelf for using the infotainment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny that piano black doesn't look good, but like, it's gonna get fingerprinty and dusty. This one's already fingerprinty and dusty.
But the way it's going to reflect the lights is going to be really cool at night.
Yes, exactly. So it's gonna look cool. I've never denied that. It's just, you gotta clean it.
Okay, and what do the lights sit on?
They sit on this little perch of steering wheel material. It
Yeah.
looks like perforated steering wheel.
It's this material right here.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, so it feels nice. It's just kind of funny to look at because it's the exact same material.
But whatever this is really cool.
Yeah, so we have our seat controls, and whatever's surrounding our seat controls looks really cool. So our seat controls are on our sides. You can also control it through the infotainment. Hey, Mercedes,
How can I help you?
turn on the passenger heated seats.
I'm switching on the seat heating.
And it turned on mine.
That's right.
But you can turn off the passenger one. It's hard to turn on both.
Yeah, it does work eventually, but it's not the perfect system.
And we have cooled seats.
Yes, we do.
But Mercedes yesterday was telling us that cooled seats doesn't actually blow air up. It extracts hot air to make it cooler.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing ever.
I don't like that. I want air conditioning being blown up my butt.
Yeah. Now, on top of packages, you can also get standalone options. Would you like to know what one of the standalone options is? It's satellite XM radio.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You got to pay extra for that.
Okay, let's talk about that then.
Go for it.
It will do live rewinding. It won't do like good rewinding. And using everything in the satellite radio is so frustratingly difficult.
It's better to use voice.
It's better to use voice. I think the sweet spot is like the controls from the last Mercedes, the 2018 EC3S.
How can I help you?
Oh my god.
Every time we say Mercedes, the system gets triggered.
It's okay. It's not our fault.
You normally won't do that when you own this car because you're not going to say the name of this car all the time.
Yeah.
Let's find out if something else is a pass or fail. The visors. 3, 2, 1.
Ah,
Fail.
only the
Come on.
E-Class.
Yeah.
E-Class and S-Class?
I think so.
So I guess the cup holder test.
Yes.
We don't have Tim Hortons in Seattle. I guess we do have Starbucks, but we also have this Fiji Square water, and it fits.
Yeah.
I don't see any problems.
No.
But it is suspectly close to the USB port for your phone.
Which are all USB-C ports, and they give you adapters as well,
So we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
which is great.
The Apple CarPlay doesn't go across all the screens like it did in the older Mercedes. They told us in Croatia that they couldn't get permission from Apple to code it to go across the whole thing, and it still hasn't been fixed.
Apple,
Apple, come on man, I'm rooting for you guys.
Android.
Get it done.
All right, Yuri, you've been going off on this infotainment for a while because there's a lot to talk about, but I think we should talk about the rest of this interior, like the seats.
One more thing first.
Okay, fine.
You showed me this cool mode in vehicle.
It gives you your vehicle. Now, if you swing it around like this, you can spin your vehicle in 360, and it's like kind of laggy, but it's also like really highly graphically generated, and it looks amazing.
Interior.
Okay, so these seats, I'm gonna go back into the infotainment again. Hey, Mercedes,
How can I help you?
turn on my seat kinetics.
Okay, I'm switching on seat kinetics.
Let me explain what seat kinetics is. This car does not have massage seats. The seats are very comfortable. I have no issues with the seats. What seat kinetics does is that it moves the base and the back of the seat just kind of forward and back every once in a while so that you're not always in the exact same position so you don't get cramped up.
I'm switching off seat kinetics.
See? Kinetics.
Very robotic for natural language.
Yeah, I guess that we should also mention that they pride themselves on natural language, something in this Mercedes. But you know what? I want to talk to cars like they're robots because they are robots.
We've been trained on terrible infotainments for the last 10 years on how to talk to them. So it's like, navigate here, do this. It's like the least amount of words you can do to make the car do something is usually the correct way to do it. So mentally, we can't get away from that, even though natural language, if I'm speaking to you, it's very different.
Yeah, because they're trying to tell us stuff like, oh, you can ask it if I need an umbrella in Seattle. It's like, okay, is it going to say no?
Yeah.
Is it going to say yes?
Is it going to give me the temperature?
Let's find out.
Hey, Mercedes,
How can I help you?
do I need an umbrella in Seattle on Wednesday?
No, it isn't forecast to rain on Wednesday in Seattle.
Okay, so that's nice to know, but if I just said, what's the weather in Seattle on Wednesday?
There will be partly cloudy skies with a high of 70 degrees and a low of 50 degrees in Seattle on Wednesday.
That is more useful to me.
Exactly. You know, we appreciate the effort. I guess that's where the future's going.
Yeah.
But I would prefer to treat my robots like robots.
Yeah, so you can tell it to set the temperature to a certain temperature, or you can say, I'm cold, and it'll also adjust what it needs to adjust. So you don't think that you should say, I'm cold to a computer. So it's just a weird thing that you don't think you need to do, but you have to do it if you want to get into the real gimmicks of it.
Yeah.
The materials in here are very impressive. This is definitely a Mercedes. Like, it's above a C-Class. It's almost like E and S class stuff in here in terms of like interior quality. It's really good. Also, what we've noticed in terms of interior, if you go over a rough road, it's kind of loud in here.
Like right now?
Yeah, like right now. Our microphones are probably picking this up.
It is not as Mercedes as I would have expected it to be for this kind of road.
Yeah, and on regular roads, it's completely fine. This is also the non-4MATIC, so this is the regular front-wheel drive one.
Yeah, I mean, for this, like, do you really need a 4MATIC?
Maybe in Canada. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's finish this off with the price.
In US dollars, because we're in America.
Nothing.
We have no idea.
Yeah, there's no price released yet.
But around the CLA area, so...
Just below the CLA.
Except with options, it'll probably be more, and you're gonna want the options because the options are where all the cool stuff happens.
You need at least the premium package so you get these nice screens.
And the navigation, so you get augmented reality because that's the coolest.
And the AMG Sport package because you need the appearance package so it has to look cool.
You pretty much need a fully loaded A-Class.
Yeah. Do you think someone that's not a millennial, is not a big fan of technology, would be overwhelmed by this car?
Most definitely.
Do you think they could get used to it?
No, I don't think they would. I think you need to be really into tech to get used to it.
Yeah, this is basically you're driving an iPhone.
And this is like an introduction to get young people really into it.
Yeah, and I think they will. This thing drives really well, it handles really well, it has so much tech in it. I think young people are really gonna appreciate this car. They're just gonna have to get used to it at first.
Like, this is definitely the most Snapchat car that exists.
Yes.
Most Snapchat, Instagram, face filter.
Yeah.
If you think of all the stuff in all the apps that like younger people use, it's all kind of in here. Augmented reality.
Yeah.
Dragging stuff around.
This is a very high quality car. So if you want to buy one of these, I'd say buy one.
Definitely check it out. You're gonna need to put in some practice though. So be ready for that.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to be ready for that. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and patreon.com/TheStraightPipes.
And hit the YouTube membership button.
Join our membership.
Get a little icon next to your name.
Yeah.